pretty good idea of why Mark Zuckerberg made his abrupt and totally unsubtle turn towards Trump and MAGA, and it makes complete sense in a very corrupt way. See, it turns out that Mark Zuckerberg didn't necessarily change like internally his ideology. No, he just wanted to save himself a bunch of money, and that's terrible, but it's okay because it doesn't look like it's going to work. See, he reportedly hoped to avoid an antitrust lawsuit trial by offering to settle with the Federal Trade Commission for $450 million rather than the $30 billion he is expected that he might have to give. And he needed help. And so Donald Trump is just as corrupt as Mark Zuckerberg. You help out Donald Trump, and maybe he'll just make that entire thing go away. He's helped many, like literally a couple hundred corporations so far, just the last 2 months, get out from under trials and investigations that they were facing. So Mark Zuckerberg's like, that seems great. Let's be corrupt together. So he made several trips to the White House and Mar-a-Lago to discuss the matter. And two people who were not authorized to reveal private conversations did indicate that they did actually happen. Remember, he also donated $1 million to Trump's inaugural fund. He changed policies at Meta that the MAGA movement doesn't like. He made it so you can use all sorts of slurs and hate speech again, and that's what they desperately wanted. But was it enough to actually get him the help that he so desperately needed? It doesn't really look like it at this point. So it's unclear at this point if Trump personally supported Meta's $450 million offer, but those familiar with the matter told the Journal that the president was open to striking some sort of deal with the tech company. But that has not actually happened yet. Ultimately, the head of the FTC, as well as White House officials and Justice Department officials in the antitrust division, convinced the president to allow the FTC's lawsuit against Meta to move forward to trial. And the case has moved forward. And prior to Mark Zuckerberg taking the stand, which happened earlier this week, he apparently increased his offer to settle for $1 billion from the $450 million. But again, it was rebuffed. Now, the FTC is apparently indicating that they will not settle for anything less than $18 billion of the $30 billion that they're seeking at this point. And if you haven't been following this case, it's an antitrust thing. Basically, that for many years, Mark Zuckerberg and Meta were just buying up any competitor, no matter what they were making, so that they would own basically everything. Versions of Snapchat, versions of TikTok, all of this stuff, and thus sort of stifling competition. And 18 billion is still a savings over 30 billion, Brett, but it's a hell of a lot more than $450 million. So it doesn't look like his gambit has worked, but the process isn't done yet. Trump could swoop in at any minute and kill the thing. What do you think?
Yeah, like this is stuff where if like my controversial opinion is let that legal process happen. Mm-hmm. It's a strange controversial opinion to have at this point, where like Donald Trump is bypassing the legal system so we can just like send random people to El Salvador. So the fact that this part of the legal process is still happening is great. I, in a very raw sense, do not begrudge Mark Zuckerberg for trying to get away with it. The same way that a lot of Americans don't hear Donald Trump say, like, I'm not paying my taxes makes me smart. Like that is that taps into something very basic in my body. That's like, I don't want to pay for things. It's the reason that I don't buy golf balls. I fish them out of the lake. I don't buy new shirts. I wait for someone to say your shirts are ugly, and then Jordan's dad sends me like 5 shirts in the mail. Like I get it. But I also love that hopefully we're building back something in our legal system that understands that mega corporations that have too much power is a bad thing. And anytime I see news that goes toward that, I'm fine with it. The weird thing about this pocket of tech is like, when Walmart overreaches and has a monopoly on the grocery department sector, I know that they're squeezing out mom and pop corner stores. Mm-hmm. Is it weird to say, like, is Zuckerberg squeezing out mom and pop social media startups? I don't know. Yeah,
but there's not really that many small guys in this industry, but a lot smaller than Facebook.
Like this dude did start out in a dorm room and now runs the world. And maybe it would be nice to have this. I mean, it's weird, like, this is a tough stuff where I just like thinking about it. Hopefully there are no trusts and this system holds, and then we get rid of monopolies, so there can be the kind of fierce competition that doesn't that protects us against like these titans of the market getting control and then conquering all of us and taking advantage of it after they do that. But like, I don't know. I hope. In the meantime, TikTok is run by a government and is growing and growing and growing and growing, or it's facilitated by a government that feeds it to be the biggest because that's part of their plan. And I don't know. I don't know what to make of it. Like all the conventional narratives break down, but like I'm not for Trump, but I am for the Justice Department going after and making sure that no one's breaking the laws and stifling creativity and all that.
Yeah, I'd be pretty surprised if this eventually went through and he had to give $18 billion. It would make me feel a little bit better. Like the government still theoretically could try to break up some monopolies or at least penalize them. But it would also, in the end, be possible that he just didn't do enough to win over MAGA and Trump, and that MAGA and Trump have hated him for years and years and years, despite the fact that Facebook has always been leaned towards advantaging conservative voices. They still hate them regardless. So maybe that's the sort of monopoly that they're willing to go after, but not others. We'll have to wait and see. But that said, I want to turn to a related sort of topic having to do with Zuckerberg and Musk and Trump. So let's jump into this. Everybody knows that Donald Trump and Elon Musk, Mark Zuckerberg, pretty thin-skinned to varying levels, but they don't like being mocked. And in some cases, they apparently have the power to get rid of the mockery even once it's already happened. And so we have this award ceremony that happened this month. This is the Breakthrough Prize ceremony. It's backed by Mark Zuckerberg. And in it, Seth Rogen presented a prize for physics. And as he did so, he chose to make a joke, which considering this organization was a little bit bold. He said, and it's amazing that others who have been in this room underwrote electing a man who, in the last week, single-handedly destroyed all of American science. It's amazing how much good science you can destroy with $320 million and RFK Jr. very fast. So that's obviously attacking the political movement that, I don't know, is very, sort of controls that group. Mark Zuckerberg's all in on the MAGA movement, on Donald Trump. Elon Musk obviously is the guy who provided the $320 million. And so it's a little joke, you know? And I had heard that comedy was legal once again at long last, but not so much. So in the room, the joke landed with a thud, I guess. I would have laughed. But anyway, it didn't even end up making the ceremony's stream that aired a week later. It appeared to be missing in the moments before Edward Norton, who was presenting with him, remarked on the light applause from the crowd. So he made the joke. They cut it out. It's mocking one of the people that is organizing the event. And some of the award ceremony's co-founders, Sergey Brin, Mark Zuckerberg, his wife Priscilla Chan, they attended Trump's inauguration, obviously. Others at the ceremony included Trump megadonor Chamath Palihapitiya, OpenAI CEO Sam Altman, and Amazon founder Jeff Bezos. Now you might be wondering, well, why cut out the joke? I mean, it's attacking somebody affiliated with it, but it's not being that rough. He's not calling him a killer or a rapist or anything. Well, they have an excuse. A spokesperson for the Breakthrough Prize Foundation, when asked about Rogen's comments being cut, said this year's ceremony lasted longer than the prior few years, and several edits were made in order to meet the originally planned runtime. I don't really buy that. Brett,
what channel was it on?
I don't know. I don't know the channel, but the stream was provided afterward. But like, does it have to be a certain time?
No.
That doesn't seem right.
It doesn't have to be a certain time. As an expert in things, runtime, watch time, all that stuff, purportedly, I wish I was more of an expert so we could do better. Like at all times, you could always improve. But like, for what, man? Did the NBA finals start right after that? It's on demand. If it was live, you would air it live unedited, but you edited it and put it up there. So you were making editorial decisions. If those editorial decisions were to keep it in a reasonable time frame, that doesn't exist anymore unless you're cutting half of it out. But the only people that want to watch this want to watch the whole thing.
Yeah.
You're cutting out a single joke. What else did they cut? I don't know. Honestly, that's in fairness, but like, you cut out the criticism. And the truth is, the right wing has launched fever dream culture wars on less.
Yeah.
Than cutting out a joke about the king.
Mm-hmm.
These guys are attacking the jesters. and we should make them terrified to do so.
Yeah. Like, again, I've never watched this award ceremony before. I imagine that many of the people who would try to probably would be because of that joke. That's or at least to see Seth Rogen. Like, I'm not saying there aren't a lot of people that want to see physics awards or whatever. Physics is great or whatever. It makes the universe work. But I think the joke is kind of the point. Well, how long did it take to tell the joke? 10 seconds?
You read it already.
Guarantee that edit is more awkward than just keeping it in. But again, they want to protect these people who are super, super thin skinned. If you're going to have a thing in like Zuckerberg, he wants to be involved in his award ceremony. I love science. No, you're supporting Donald Trump, who wants to do as much damage to it as he can, not just in terms of the cuts and all of that stuff. But literally, your movement is doing more damage than anything else to destroy people's respect for or willingness to trust the experts and the academics. And you know that, Mark Zuckerberg. You freaking know that.
Like, philosophically, in my opinion, there's in a certain context, there's two kinds of people, right? There's the kinds of people who know what the rules are and know the norms and the social cues. They know their limitations and they act within that, right? And those people you don't really have to worry about as much because they're considerate, self-aware. The other kind of person is the raw actor, the embodiment of some certain ethos in its purest form. And Mark Zuckerberg, Donald Trump, they're all examples of that. And that's why we build systems to check those. And that's why I'm a progressive. Because being a progressive is just protecting people against abuses of power. And the people that are the most abusive with power are those raw, pure ideological actors. Yeah. And this is an example of it. And they do stuff like this, and it starts here. It starts here. And when they do it, you realize that their only principle is around the self-servingness. Because like if they were principled about things they've said, like, oh, we're ending censorship, they wouldn't be censoring this. And more so, where's the cavalry? Where's that cavalry that horsed up when they were censoring right-wingers according to half of a report they cherry-picked?
Yeah.
They should be here for us right now. Where are the people but no, where are they for Bill Burr? Where are they for members of the press that got kicked out of the White House press bureau because they asked Trump a real question?
Or we're going to host the White House Correspondents' Dinner. Like, what happened to comedy being legal? Where are all the people with the specials on Netflix named Triggered or whatever? Where are they now? Anyway, it was politically incorrect humor. Seth Rogen, stop it, okay? You be nice to the king. And I really enjoy the studio. You're doing a hell of a job over there. Latest episode.
Oh my God, it's so good.